Patrick, 42 apiece now. It's very tight now with only 15 racing days, but like you said already, there's a lot of racing to be done, especially with Punchestown coming up. I'm sure you don't like it being as tight, but it is very interesting for everybody else looking in.
Yeah. You know, a couple of years ago, myself and Jamie went down to the very last race. He beat me by one. So it looks like it could be quite similar this year, you know. And you know, I think we're both above our total from that year already. So it's going to be very tight.
Yeah, Jamie mentioned it was 40 he won it with that year, and there he is well ahead of it now with plenty of races. So both have had an incredible season.
I know, yeah, you can't complain, but I suppose it'd be nice to cherry on top. But I'd take a draw to be fairly honest.
Cheltenham, obviously, unfortunately, he weren't able to go, but he's back next week at Aintree. Bill away runs, how is he?
Yeah, he came out of Cheltenham well. He ran a cracker. You know, he just got beaten on the day. I think the winner was on top of him all the way, really, and only his guts kept him in the race as long as it did. I see the winner isn't in Aintree, so that's a help. Dropping back to 2.5 is... I don't think it's particularly to his advantage. I don't think he's a particularly speedy horse, but he does have a high cruising speed, can hit a flat spot, and if he takes to the fences, he'd have to have a huge chance again.
And looking at today's Hunter Chase, a very competitive race, he has great form in beating those horses who were first and second today as well, so that's good going forwards.
Yeah, the Solomon Grundy probably looks like he's improving, and you know, we'll be looking to come back to Punchestown afterwards. It's hard to do the 3 big festivals, all right, but we'll try and do it, and maybe he might give me a winner when I need it in the last week.
Absolutely. And looking back at some of the horses that your father won with in Cheltenham, looking forward to Punchestown, what would probably be the standout one for you? What will you ride in the champion bumper, do you think?
Oh, that's going to be a hard one, yeah. I have to see how they're working near the time, but my view on the race in Cheltenham was that you know, Sir Gerard's a very laid back horse. He was able to take advantage of there being an uncontested lead. Kilcrut needs a bit of cover. He can be a bit hot, and you know, I actually thought if Sir Gerard had maybe sat until he got into straight, he might have sprinted away and won a length or two going away rather than nearly getting caught. So I think the way the race on the day unfolded, it suited Sir Gerard, who's probably a quicker horse than Kilcrut. So we'll have to see how they're working near the time, but you know, I think Sir Gerard probably has more gears and Kilcrut probably stays better.
You obviously would have rode Kilcrut if you were able to ride you. It would have been hard to obviously switch with it, Sir Gerard not being in the yard that long. That's it.
We didn't do anything with Sir Gerard. He arrived down, he was in fantastic condition when he came, and we just kept him ticking over. And obviously my grandmother bred Kilcrut as well, so I would have had to stay loyal, or she wouldn't have been happy there.
Allaho is obviously one of the best performances of the week. How is he, and where does he go?
He came out of the race fantastic. You know, myself and Rachel got on like $1 million, and there's obviously no 2.5 mile race in Punchestown, so he has to either step down to 2 miles or go up to 3 miles. We've already tried 3 miles at Christmas, so perhaps we'll drop him a trip this time. You know, Willie did mention that the Queen Mother was on his mind for next year, but it's you know, 2.5 is probably his ideal trip, so he's going to be competing at not at his ideal, but the way he jumped and travelled in the Ryanair, you wouldn't mind coming back to 2 miles with him.
No, definitely. And probably without doubt one of the best horses in training at the moment is Monkfish. How is he? And I take it he goes to the 3 mile race in Punchestown?
Yeah. You know, he wasn't on his A game in Cheltenham, and he still won, and that's probably the sign of a real good horse. You know, he just, for whatever reason, lost his confidence. He missed the second fence, and it just seemed to put him on the back foot jumping wise for some reason. He's come out with it fine. Hopefully Envoy Allen will turn up. That'll be a fantastic race.
It'll be some match, won't it?
It'll be the race of the season, really. I think that's what everyone wants to see. So hopefully the two of them get there, and it'll be, you know, I suppose it'll be a good pointer for next season.
Absolutely. And looking at the 2 mile race then, and Ergemine doesn't run tomorrow. Is there any reason why he's not running tomorrow? Is it a case of waiting for Punchestown?
Yeah, look, he missed a bit of time there around Cheltenham. I rode him working the Curragh on Tuesday, and Willie just felt it was probably going to come a bit soon. It was rushing him. So Willie, you know, if all the boxes aren't ticked, he prefers to sit and wait. So he'll probably go to Punchestown, but he's 100%. And
Appreciate, who was devastating in the first race of the week in the Supreme Novices. How is he?
Yeah, he came home in great form. Lara Tedstone's delighted him. She looks after him, and Donna Redmond rides him out. Sure, it's going to be interesting to see what route Willie takes with him. I mean, he looks like a 3 mile chaser. He reminds me of Denman. He's a big brute of a horse, and yet he's able to win a Supreme Novices. Obviously just strong gallop, really suited him in the Supreme. But if there's no obvious pace in a race, he's well able to go on and make the running like he showed in Leopardstown. So he seems to have it all.
Do you think that if Ferny Hollow, I know it's easy to say if and hindsight in that, if Ferny Hollow hadn't got injured, would Appreciate have ended up going that route down the 2 mile, do you think?
No, I imagine, at the start of the season he looked a Ballymore horse and Ferny Hollow looked a quicker horse to go for the Supreme. So I imagine they would have gone in those directions. Now you don't know what would happen to Christmas with Ferny Hollow, say, but Ferny Hollow, his form at Bob O'Linger and Appreciate It looks very, very strong. So he's back in at the moment. He's just tipping away, and we won't go to Punchestown with him. He wouldn't be ready, but he's fine. He'll be fine for next year.
A lot to look forward to with him next year.
He's very, very exciting. And again, where do you go? He's lost his novice status over hurdles. So do you go over fences or do you stay hurdling? So another decision that will have to be mulled up over.
And Alboin Foe, how's he after his third in the Gold Cup?
Good. He came home. He was tired. He gave his all. He just maybe didn't jump as well as he has the last years. And he's not a fantastic jumper. So Paul makes him look a lot easier than he is. And I thought he ran a fantastic race. He got beaten by 2 younger, improving horses. He went down fighting, and we'll go back to Punchestown now and have another crack at Lindo there.
Good. Listen, Patrick, it's great to see your horses are obviously running so well, and it's great to see this title battle between yourself and Jamie is probably going to go to the wire. So very best of luck with it.
Thanks very much.